All right, everybody, right off the bat, I want to wish the Marine Corps a happy 246th birthday. For those of you that don't know or do know, you know I served. So today's a big day. Today's November 10th, 2021. And as always on this day, Marines around the world celebrate our birthday to our beloved Corps. And today's a day where we just honor our Corps. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. That's for all veterans. Today's for Marines. So having said that, let's get into the video. Alright, so what I really want to do today is a garden tour. It's well overdue. It's time to knock that out. Show y'all what's going on and what's not going on. Because I definitely have some failures out here, and I have some stuff that's really taken off, and I also have some plants that have got to come out. That's going to happen today, but the plants that have to come out need to be harvested because they've got vegetables all over. So let's knock that out. Okay, first things first is this fig tree. This is an F1A fig tree. I don't have the slightest clue what the F1A stands for or means, but I got this last year and it's finally putting on some fruits here. Late season figs. I just think it's really awesome that they're actually producing. This fig tree is finally producing. Right beside it is an olive tree, and then right behind it is another olive tree. Then I've got some other citruses over here that are still not really doing anything quite yet, but if you look right here, check it out. Meyer lemons, my first Meyer lemons. And then right above that is the Calamandrin orange tree that I did that harvest and taste video on, that the tartness just about killed me. But I'm going to do a follow-up to that video because apparently I harvested it too soon and they're not as tart as I obviously made it out to be. So let's harvest these. Some of these are kind of small, but I'm just taking them all off to get the weight off of this branch. This branch has been leaned over like this for like ever. Okay, not a bad haul of Meyer lemons. Some are a little early like these, but we'll let them ripen, or I'll let them ripen. But not a bad haul. For the calamandrins, I have calamandrins there and up here. So let's see. Let's get them done. Okay, with this I did an experiment. These are two different types of peppers, and I just put them in to see what they would do. So here shortly I'm going to split these up into pots, and then I'll be able to overwinter them and be ready to rock and roll in the spring. So pretty excited about that. Alright, this bed has the garlic in it that I planted. Nothing's coming up yet, but it's only a matter of time. They'll be popping. These are radishes right here. I've got to fertilize, but I've got some that are coming on. I've never had radish before. This is a Chinese red meat radish. Pretty excited to try it. Try which ones survive. Okay, if you look in here, this plant, not this one. This is a flower. These plants right here, these with the yellow, these are all Tomatillo plants. I wanted to try to plant tomatillos this fall just to see if they would grow, and they are doing great. I mean, they are really, you can see it, they're taking off. There's 3 different types of tomatillos here, 2 different types of purples, and then in the center are the green, or the verde, which means green in Spanish, tomatillos. I've also got these bell peppers right here growing. I'm gonna let them go a little longer, then I'll harvest those. No, I'm not. I'm gonna harvest them now. Okay, this right here is the garlic bed where I had the okra. Let's see if anything is sprouting up yet. They shouldn't be coming up just yet. Another week or so, a few days, they should be popping. But right here, a bunch of eggplants. All these eggplants have got to come out. They're coming out today. Okay, eggplants are out. Carrots are gonna go right there. If you come right beside, look at these. I love these burgundy okra. I mean, look how pretty that is. Such a pretty color. So I'm gonna let these go for another month or so, see how much harvest I can get off of them, and then I'll be yanking them too. All right, over here are green beans and peas. Now you're wondering, why are they falling over? Well, we had a really bad windstorm about 2 weeks ago, and they were, you know, probably up into this range. The wind came in at 30-40 mile an hour gusts, boom, all over. So I'm just gonna leave them. Nature wanted them laid over. I'm just gonna leave them laid over. Now it's probably not the best thing to do, but they'll still produce. And if they don't, then so be it. Wasn't meant to be. Right off to the side here, we got two different types of lettuces. Then I've got cabbages growing also that are doing pretty good. Okay, now this is a type of lettuce right here. And what's funny about this is I just threw some dirt that didn't have the seeds growing up in them and in this area just to get it out of the pot, and nature has found a way, and now I have lettuces growing that weren't growing in the pots. So just really cool, really cool. Right over here we got kale. I'm glad to see the kale's finally starting to pop up right over in here. Now this is a scarlet kale right here, you can see it, and then right beside it is another cabbage that I have. This is Mizuna right here. I'm not really sure what this is going to do. This was a free seed from Baker Creek, and I thought, you know what, let's just go ahead and plant it and see what it does. Then of course, as you can see, these marigolds are just so pretty. Good Lord. Another type of marigold right over there. And then we've got some peppers here. These are a cool jalapeno. In other words, it has the flavor of a jalapeno, but not the heat. These are great if you just want that little bit of a kick of a jalapeno flavor to add to something, but you don't want to burn your mouth. Look at the size of that one. I mean, that is a good size jalapeno right there. That's what they're called, jalapenos. Right here we have some purple lettuces. That one is finally starting to come up. I'm having mixed reviews with the lettuce, but this bed right here is a brand new bed. So all that soil in there is new. This one is more aged. And then, of course, that flower bed is an entire year old. So it's doing really, really good. My Tabasco plant, I'm gonna leave, but this eggplant right here has got to come out. And this has been my best producing eggplant, but it's you know what I'm deciding to do? I'm going to leave this one eggplant in because it has produced the most. So I'm going to leave that one in. The one behind it though has got to come out. I'm going to leave a few on there just to keep it going. As you can tell by this video, I tend to just go with how I'm thinking. I'm not planning. These are squashes. They're not doing good. You can tell the powdery mildew's gotten to them and some bugs. Caterpillars have also found them. So they're going to come out. And I'm going to put carrots right here also. There's going to be a lot of carrots for the fall. If we turn around, I've got more of that lettuce growing where I actually planted it this time. Another cabbage. These are a bean. They were a free bean from, again, Baker Creek. I just wanted to give it a shot, see what it would do. I think these are going to do really, really good in the spring. So I'm about to yank these out too, because they're not, or I might just leave them, but they're really not doing much. We've got a different type of kale right there that's growing. This is a blue kale, and you can kind of see that they're growing just really slow. Again, this soil is brand new, so it hasn't been aged or It doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it yet, but it will. This is a pink lemonade blueberry. It hasn't put on any fruit yet, which isn't, I mean, that's totally typical, but I can't wait till it does. Never had a pink lemonade blueberry. Right over here, here's some failures. I had squashes and some cucumbers growing, and the caterpillars got to them. Pretty much decimated everything. So all this is going to come out, and again, carrots are going to go right there. Right over here, I have black round radishes planted. I'm having mixed reviews right here. I mean, some are really good, some aren't doing good, but I'm going to leave them alone and just let's see what they do. I've never had a black radish, so again, just like the Chinese red meat, I'm excited to try them. That'll be a harvest and taste down the road. This is my purple jalapeno bush trees. You can see I have one. It's not purple, but it's red. I'm going to yank that off. Some rosemary. That is just, the smell is insane. And then more peppers right here that are about to be harvested. These are just a sweet, random, mixed pepper plant right there. Always multicolored. But I'm going to go ahead and harvest them to get them going. So as you can see, multiple colored peppers coming off the same bushes, or the same trees right there. Right over here, this is an amazing, I mean, you can see all the pollinators that this pineapple sage brings in. In the mornings and the evenings, there are always little bumblebees, little honeybees right there. I don't want to get stung, stay over there. There are also hummingbirds like crazy that come in here. And then we got a bunch of lantanas all over the place. That's a Mexican thornless key lime tree right there. That's probably tripled its size this year. And then I've got a bunch of climbing roses that I have to seriously take care of here. Because, yeah. And then back in here somewhere, through this jungle, is my fairy garden. Or my daughter's fairy garden. But it's now mine. So I'll do a video on cleaning this up, tightening it up, and then adding to this fairy garden down the road. That's on the to-do list. So right here is a really big eggplant tree that's about to come out. It's doing really good. And as you can see, let me come around here. Look at the size of that eggplant. I mean, that thing is huge. But I'm going to harvest all these eggplants and yank this tree out. This whole area right here is going to be cabbages. I'm going to plant seed cabbage and let's see what it does. But before we get to that, I've got acorn squash over here that I'm now missing one, so the bugs have found them, the bad pests have found them. And then these are squashes that also, you can see powdery mildew on that one. And it's only a matter of time until the pests find them. So I'll spray these down with neem oil and see if I can't save them. This was an experiment to test the soil. So I know in spring the soil is good. I'm just gonna have to be super vigilant on the pests, because once they come in, they come in. Now here's an example of tap roots. Look how far out these things go. So you don't always have to water right at the base of a plant, especially a mature plant like this, because they send out these long roots. I mean, that's 2.5 foot long. Pretty cool, right? Okay, now that I've done the tour, there's not a lot out here right now. Everything that I have, like you saw, a lot of the stuff's growing. I had to take stuff out to make room for other stuff. Now let's check out the harvest real quick so you can see just what all I got. So here's the harvest. It's a really good size harvest. Look at all those eggplants. I'm about to have to make a whole lot of eggplant parmesan, that's for sure. Those lemons need to ripen a little bit more, especially these right here. We got a lot of calamandrin, some peppers. I'm going to use those this weekend. And you can see the different types of eggplant. Again, these are the Black Beauties. These are some Asian eggplants right here. Really good flavors on those. So yeah, really good harvest. I'm fairly pleased with it. All right, so that was a lot of vegetables that I got in just a short amount of time, and I don't have a huge garden. So you can garden, you just have to get out there and do it. And if you've noticed, I have raised beds. I have beds against the fence line that are technically raised beds, but they're in the ground. I have these cinder block beds, and I have a whole lot of container gardening going on. So I have a mixture of everything going in my little backyard, and anyone can do it. I mean, start with containers if you don't have a huge backyard, or you don't have time, that you don't feel you have a lot of time. Start with containers. Get a couple things going, and once you start to produce those fruits and those vegetables, you're gonna get that itch, and you're gonna like, man, I can do this, or I can do this. So that's my advice. For those of you wondering why I'm taking out the eggplants that are doing so good, eggplants aren't a fall crop, and I need fall crops planted. They were taking up the space, so they had to go. I will replant eggplant in the spring this time. I did it in the summer, and you saw how good they did. I'm going to plant some in the spring and just try to get them going throughout the entire spring to now, March to November time frame, and see just how many eggplants I can actually produce. So that's why I started yanking out some plants, because it's just time for them to go. They were summer crops. Now it's fall, going into winter here in the Houston area. So it's time to get them out. Okay, so I know I was talking about doing a garden tour video for probably a month and a half. COVID hit me, life hit me, and I just didn't have the time. So I'm glad I was able to get her knocked out today. And of all days, Marine Corps birthday. So hey, I won't forget this day. All right, so that's all I got for today. The garden tour was really short. It'll be a lot longer in the spring, and then I'll do updates throughout the winter time frames, because the cabbages can go through the winter unless we get another hard freeze like we did this year. But we'll just roll with the punches. So, buddy, thank you all for watching. As always, thank you for your support. Leave comments. Leave comments down below, questions. Let's get interactive and talk. Share ideas, share stories. I'm all for it, and I will respond to comments that are left. So hey everybody, if you like the video, please share it with friends and neighbors. Subscribe to the channel, click the little bell button so you're always notified whenever I post a new video. And check me out on Facebook and Instagram, Down Home Backyard Gardening. And as always, what I like to say here is shine bright and harvest hard. Bye.